Alright, so let's get into it. I'm starting with a game called 14 Days with You. I have played a little bit of this already. Um, oh yeah, and I guess disclaimer, this is an adult or mature game. Although you can turn off like um certain scenes, I guess. Which is what I'm going to do because I don't want anyone jumping me. Looking at you, Twitch. Okay. All right. Let's let's go meet this lunatic. Oh, listen to that calm, pretty music. Nothing bad can happen, right? Okay. My name's Luney. Uh, you're in Harco's DMs. I'm insane. We are not the same part. Okay. Yeah, so 14 days with you is still a demo. I highly recommend supporting the creator. Um, if you do enjoy this sort of thing, but if not, no pressure. Just I like this one. It's pretty good so far. Yes, that is. Oh God, I can't wait to see you. I forgot I can do that. He knows. Hold on. Sound is still a little bit loud on my end. There we go. And in other news, the remains of yet another body has been pulled out from Lake Blue Moss, making it a total of 4 unidentifiable victims this past year. Authorities believe that. Ugh. Stifling a groan with the rim of my coffee cup, I fish around for the remote lodged between the cushions and turn off the TV. Except that it's probably not a coffee cup, it's probably tea. I wasn't about to let some morbid headline damper the start of my cheerful morning, especially considering how today was going to be my first day at work after finally getting that hard-earned promotion. I mean, sure, stacking and sorting through books at a library might not have been my dream job, or even my first choice of places to work after moving back. But the pay was nice, my coworkers were friendly, and the building was located within the perfect walking distance from my apartment. That's nice. It's always good. What is this? Rico's spouse in my house spouse era, don't add me. Okay. There was even this adorable little bakery along the way that served the best shortcakes and croissants known to mankind. And the manager there always loved to hand out small freebies whenever I stopped by. It still beats living in the city, though. Honestly, I wasn't even sure why I left my hometown in the first place. The fast-paced, hustle and bustle lifestyle of the city just wasn't what I was longing for whenever I stared out of my window on sleepless nights, and the people there were always rude and indignant. Truth. It was nothing like Corland Bay, where everyone felt like a close-knit family, and the air smelled like the sea rather than pollution. And sure, the local crime rate might be getting out of hand as of late, and there might be fewer things for me to do here. I can relate. But my new job keeps me busy, and I prefer spending time alone at the beach over visiting shady bars with people I barely considered friends. In fact, setting my mug onto the table, I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. A notification from Moth, my online friend, pops up. So I tap on the screen to read their message. What greets me is an adorable sticker of some anime character giving me a thumbs up, as well as a short message that says, "Good luck today," underneath. Aww. Moth had always been adamant about showing their endless support for me, even after years of friendship, cursed memes, and shitty Wi-Fi video calls. Yep. And even though I would never admit it out loud, I was truly grateful to have someone like them in my life. Pulling up the keyboard, I began to type a response to their message. How will you respond? Say thank you, send back another sticker, reply later, send back a meme with 0. mm. Okay, well, real talk, I would say thank you, but I'd also send a meme. Or send back a sticker. I'll say thank you. It really was considerate of them to send this message, especially considering our contrasting time zones, so I decided on sending back a quick thank you in response. A gray chat bubble pops up just as I hit the send button, indicating that Moth was typing out another message. BTW. Did you see the latest AOG episode? I heard Haruko got an outfit change. Spoiler for me, did he really change his hairstyle as well? Attack on Giants. Attack on Giants. Or AOG, as Moth liked to call it, was a popular anime series that we recently became obsessed with, and Haruko was the main character from the show. He was a sorcerer known for his shy and airheaded demeanor, and as of late, his hairstyle had become a trending topic within the community. Now that I thought about it, what hairstyle did Haruko have in the latest episode? So I believe this determines what our love interest looks like in terms of hair length. So I don't know. I'm usually a fan of long hair, but I think medium is how he was originally designed, so I'm gonna go with that. Oh, so it's still relatively the same length then. Phew. I must have been looking at fake news or something. By the way, I don't mean to change the subject, but didn't you say last night that you were going to head to work at 8 a.m.? Because it's like almost 9:30 where you are now. Right? Or am I just dumb and got the time zones mixed up again? Well, mood. Looking at the time displayed on my phone, I immediately let out a string of curses and leaped to my feet. Shit! Grabbing the coat that I had carelessly strewn across the back of the sofa earlier, I quickly shrug it on before making a beeline towards the front door. Before I leave, however, I spare myself one final glance in the poorly hung mirror in the hallway. Hopefully the outfit I chose was appropriate for my job. What style did you go for? Something cutesy, comfy, alternative, professional, trendy, or casual? See, really depends on the day. But since it's a special occasion today, I think either going professional or I think I would rather go something cutesy. You can't go wrong with a bit of pastel bows and frills. Exactly, Luney. Exactly. Giving myself a small spin in the mirror, I admire how the soft fabric and patterns flow around me. But enough of that. I can check myself out another time. Hastily, I smooth out the wrinkles and pick off any stray pieces of lint from my sleeves before I finally head out the front door, and almost catch my coat on the door handle in the process. uh, Relatable. With a grumble, I tug at the fabric off my coat before slamming the door shut with a little bit too much force than necessary. Even trying to insert my key came with a bit of a struggle, and I had to fight the urge to yell in frustration as I attempted to lock my door. Seriously? When will that lazy bum of a landlord do something about this? I swear I've complained about this at least 4 times this month. Oh, hey there, Looney. Looking good. My neighbor Violet practically beams at me while she fishes through her pockets for her own apartment key. Resting on her hip was yet another potted plant, and I found myself wondering where she was going to put it this time. I was almost entirely convinced that her whole apartment had been turned into a greenhouse at this point, considering how her balcony was practically filled to the brim with different kinds of plants, greenery, and other various kinds of flora. But I wasn't about to complain or anything. The fragrance that wafted in with the wind always smelled floral and earthy, and it did well to mask the smell of smoke and burned food whenever I tried to cook. Yeah. I can't cook. Hey, your outfit is just my style. You look so cute. Her voice pulls me away from my thoughts, and I notice how the growing smile on her face doesn't seem to falter. In response, I shoot her one of my own, and it was apparently enough to brighten her mood even more than it was already. Is that another plant? Girl, I don't want to say this, but I think you have a problem. Oh, yeah, this is Charlie. I'm thinking of putting her next to Whitney. Great. She names her plants. Oh, I almost forgot. I've been meaning to ask you this, but when were you going to tell me that you were seeing someone? Huh? A knowing look pulls out her features as Violet continues to fiddle with the lock on her door. What are you talking about? No, seriously, what are you talking about? Come on, don't act like you didn't just have a guy over last night. I saw him leaving when I took Kathy out for a walk. I'd be more worried about my neighbor taking her plants, named plants, out on a walk at night, but the thought of someone leaving my apartment seemed to set off way more alarm bells. Reasonably so. I give Violet a concerned look, and she picks up on it almost immediately. You don't remember? Don't tell me you were drunk or something. With a huff, she gives up on trying to unlock her door. It seemed as though we both shared the same problem with our apartment locks, and places her potted plant on the ground before slowly making her way towards me. Tall guy? Nope. Wearing a dark slasher hoodie? Nope. Probably into either old-fashioned or bondage with the crazy amount of belts and loops wrapped around his leg. Violet, that was just me. Violet, that's just me. Ring any bells? No. Last night I was just catching up on some TV shows and talking with my friend. No one came here. Even if they did, I would have heard them. My place isn't really that big anyway. Really? But I was so sure it was your door. Hand rests on her cheek in a thinking manner before she pouts up at me, seemingly giving in for now. Well, all right then. Maybe it was somebody else's apartment? I mean, it's always so dark in these hallways at night. Honestly, what is our landlord doing? Would you mind if I check in with security downstairs later? It'd give me some peace of mind. Yeah, that's fine. All right then. Thank you, Looney. Well, I got some plants to water and some MMOs to raid in, so... Wait a minute, I just realized her name's Violet, and she's got like a purple floweries like theme about her. This is just Wisteria with white hair. Anyway. Violet lets out one last huff before she picks up her plant. What did she name this one again? And goes back to unlocking her door. Good talk, I guess, even if it was kind of awkward. Oh, yeah, sure. See you later, bye. Slipping past my neighbor and into the cramped hallway, I quickly make for the stairs. When will they fix that broken elevator? And break into a slight jog. Thankfully, the weather was cool today, and the shoes I chose weren't going to leave me with blisters by the time I reached the library. Smart. Always smart. The smell of old paper, coffee, and soft incense floods my senses as I step through the library's glass doors. The melodic chimes alert the woman at the reception desk of my arrival, and I watch as she tucks a strand of rude. She tucks a strand of straight blonde hair behind her ear as she turns around to greet me. Good morning, Eleanor. Oh! She looks surprised for some reason before her expression morphs into a soft smile, and she beckons me closer with a nod of her head. Eleanor is one of my co-workers here at Corlin Bay Library, and one of the very few people here who actually gets the work done. And although she's notorious for being rather scatterbrained, she more than makes up for it with her caring and doting attitude towards everyone. But her nurturing personality can get rather overbearing at times, and I often find myself having to step away to get some breathing room. Excuse me. Nevertheless, she's charming to work with, and I appreciate her always looking out for me. After all, who knows what my sleeping schedule would have looked like without her help. Luney, just on time. I printed out your... Wait, where did I... Her expression turns into a slight panic as she spins on her heels, and I silently watch with amusement as she shuffles through the various books and stacks of paper lining her desk. Where did I leave it? Ah, here it is. Spinning around once more, Eleanor comes back and hands me a sheet of paper with the word schedule printed in big bold letters. I take it from her grasp and give the sheet a once-over. Well, looks like I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks. But I guess Eleanor doesn't seem to share the same disdain as me, judging from the playful look plastered on her face. Oh, how does it feel to no longer be the one in charge of stacking books all day long? Although, you'll still have to work the front desk from time to time, though, unfortunately. I offer a weak smile at her words before rounding the corner and placing my bag under the desk. And as I begin to pull out some of my belongings, the front door chimes again, letting everyone know that another patron has come in. Figuring Eleanor has it all covered, I leave the customer to her as I go back to preparing everything for the day. But as I turn around to check on her, I noticed that she had already finished greeting the customer and was on her way back to her own desk across from mine. As if sensing my gaze, she spins around in her office chair and flashes me a teasing grin. Looks like he's back again. Eleanor gives a soft chuckle as she inclines her head in the direction of the person she was talking about. You know, that new guy. I don't know when he started showing up here in the Bay, but he always comes in and rents out the books you recommend on the display window. That's because he knows I have wonderful taste. That's okay. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say he has a little crush on you. Preposterous. Especially with that outfit you've got on. You look amazing, so I can't really fault him for staring. Because he was staring. How dare he? A lot. I have to have a word with him. Snorting, I push Eleanor's office chair so that she's facing the other way and focus my attention back to the papers in front of me. What was with everyone today? Always smiling, gossiping about other people, and meddling in business that wasn't their own. It was bad enough that I had to deal with a potential intruder. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that. But I doubt my deadbeat landlord was going to do anything about it. I might need to buy a stronger lock on my way home from work, maybe even some kind of alarm system. But would the stores still be open by then? The struggle. All of a sudden, I get pulled backwards as Eleanor playfully wheels my chair around and leans over my shoulder to softly speak into my ear. Would you look at that? Lover boy in aisle 8 needs some help, it seems. She nods in the direction of the red light flashing above the bookshelves, signaling to... Hold on. Not used to talking this much. She nods in the direction of the red light flashing above the bookshelves, signaling to the staff that someone in that room needed assistance. With a sigh, I reluctantly stand up and make my way over. I already knew for a fact that Eleanor wasn't going to go help them herself, so I begrudgingly begin to make my way towards aisle 8 alone. I knew better than to glance back at her at all, knowing full well that my teasing coworker would be sporting the biggest grin on her face at my misfortune. Know what, Eleanor? We need to have a talk, too. Ducking around the corner and into the aisle, I was immediately met with a broad backside that was covered by what had to be the comfiest looking cardigan I'd ever seen. The person whom it belonged to, however, hadn't seemed to notice me yet, so I awkwardly cleared my throat and absentmindedly shifted my weight from one foot to the other. Ah, there he is. Oh no, he cute. Oh no, he cute. He seems to jump at the sudden noise, before sheepishly turning around to face me. Immediately, I was taken aback by his soft demeanor, doe-like eyes, and imposing height. What a combo. So this was the guy who always rented out my recommended books on the display window, huh? He definitely fit the aesthetic of a cozy literature lover needing a good book. His pink hair also reminded me of Haruko, an anime character I had recently been obsessing over with Moth during our late-night video calls. In fact, even the overall cut and style appeared vaguely similar to his. But then again, this hairstyle could have been trending right now or something, and I just so happened to be the last to know about it. That tracks. But now that I really had a good look at the man, which proved difficult considering his towering height, the stranger also seemed to bear a near picture-perfect resemblance to the main lead from this webtoon I was reading. It was called Always With You, and it revolved around the main character meeting the love of his life at a library where they both... As if noticing my spaced-out look, the stranger absent-mindedly scratches at his jaw while he waits for me to snap out of my thoughts. In fact, I had been so distracted that I didn't even realize that he had been muttering quietly to himself. I wasn't expecting you to show up so soon. Sorry, I hope I'm not bothering you. I was just looking for, His voice pulls me back to the present, and I hastily try to make sense of what was spilling from his cherry-tinted lips. Watching him struggle with his words would have made anyone feel bad, so I offer him a reassuring smile in return and an encouraging nod of my head. At that, he takes a steady inhale of air before trying again. I need some help. I'm looking for a specific book, you see, but... And now he's playing with the ends of his sleeves. Mood. I felt the sudden urge to reach out and stop him. Did I find the action annoying, endearing, relatable? Who knows? But instead, I held back and waited for him to find the words to speak. But wow, even his mannerisms were eerily similar to Haruko's. The endearing awkwardness and sleeve tugging gave me a sense of deja vu. And it honestly felt like he walked straight out of the anime and into this very library. Man, Moth is gonna freak when I tell them about this later. The stranger in front of me takes in another shaky inhale before he tries to speak once more, this time with a lot more confidence in his tone and a fire in his eye. Do you have any books on native flora? The best I found are on generic wildlife, but nothing about Coraland-based plants. Or maybe I'm just in the wrong aisle? He was looking for a book about the native flora. Perhaps I should introduce him to Violet. Chuckling to myself at the thought. They're watching me. They know. I stepped closer to the tall man and began scanning the contents of the shelf beside him. He almost seemed to flinch at the sudden closeness between us, but showed no sign of moving away. In fact, he seemed to almost lean closer and incline his head towards mine. Listen, sir, I know I smell wonderful, but personal space, man. And had I not been too preoccupied with finding that book, I would have noticed how his breath hitches in his throat as my scent floods his senses. See, I told you. But please, sir, contain yourself. No, you're definitely in the right aisle. Those kinds of books are just more hidden, I guess. I stepped past him this time and make my way over to the lower part of the shelves. Absentmindedly, I run a finger against the spines of each book until I come into contact with one book in particular. Then, bending over slightly, I pulls a book from the shelf and give the cover a once-over before offering it to the man behind me. Is this what you were looking for? Too preoccupied with the misplaced book on the bookshelf, who brings cookbooks to the nature aisle? I barely notice how his blue eyes hungrily trail across my form before landing on the book held out in my outstretched hand. Excuse you, sir. Eyes are up here. My eyes are up here. They're not hard to miss. With shaky fingers, he reaches out and takes it from me. I watch as he flips through a few pages to take in some information, before finally settling on the book with an affirmative nod. Yes, this was exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. I'm glad. You're like an angel sent down from heaven or something. You're so helpful. Kind, too. What? What? Oh, did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. Oh, that must have been so weird. I'm so sorry. He looked as though he was about to cry now, so I hastily threw up my hands in a comforting manner and shot him a reassuring smile. Hey, it's fine. No need to freak out. I wasn't expecting someone to say that about me is all. Really? Well, I think it's true for what it's worth. You really are like an angel. Sorry, you're gonna have to speak up. I'm hard of hearing. Thanks. Figuring that was my cue to leave before things got awkward. Too late for that. I give him one last friendly smile and suddenly glance back towards the front desk. But the eccentric man showed no signs of moving. Instead, he just looked down at me expectantly. Did he want to continue the conversation? It seemed unlikely as he didn't say anything. He simply stared at me. I'm gonna have to start charging if you keep doing that, sir. Awkwardly, I cleared my throat for what had to be the millionth time today and gestured vaguely to the reception desk behind me. Well, if you don't need any more help, I should. This is just getting weird now. Should I even attempt to continue this conversation or just leave? I mean, it would seem rude to just walk away abruptly, especially considering how he's apparently a regular patron in a library I worked at. But he wasn't making much of an effort either, so what should I do?